Hey movie fans, welcome back to After the Credits, where we break down the latest and greatest movies, including our favorite scenes, quotes, trivia, and even how we think it should have ended. Grab a bowl of popcorn and enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Welcome back to After the Credits with Tyler and Dylan in the dungeon. We are, again, just Cheetah and myself talking about one of the best comedies ever made of all time. If you don't know by the opening quote that I said, if you don't know what movie this is, I am disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. We are talking about Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, the first Anchorman, in my opinion, the good Anchorman.
Yeah.
In a lot of people's opinion, the good Anchorman.
Yeah.
The second one was all right.
It was okay.
It was okay. But the first one.
I think it falls under the category of the sequel treatment, you know?
Right, yeah.
Stereotypically.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
Yeah, right. We are talking about Anchorman. It's again, like one of my favorite comedies of all time. Ranked up there as one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. So
absolutely.
Let's get into this. So the release date of this movie was July 9th, 2004. From what I remember, pretty decent year for movies. Dylan, you got any good films that came out in 2004?
Boy, do I. How about a little movie called Dodgeball?
Oh my goodness, a true underdog story.
Yeah. We have Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh my God.
That came out.
Just fucking bangers for comedies.
Yeah. Meet the Fockers.
Nice.
Yeah. Euro Trip. I never watched it, but another movie that I don't think it did quite well. Maybe you could answer. But it's one of the few movies that I had on DVD when I was broke. And couldn't afford any streaming. Well, we didn't have streaming.
Wasn't streaming at the time, yeah.
But I was a bachelor on my own, so it was one of the few movies I had on DVD. So I watched it quite a bit. Without a Paddle.
Oh, nice, yeah, with Seth. Seth.
Not the best movie, but
no, but
it's very nostalgic for me.
Yeah, it's a very goofy stoner comedy.
Right.
It's a good one though.
That movie Fat Albert came out. And then
Kenan Thompson.
Did you ever see the movie Envy with Ben Stiller and Jack Black?
Yeah. That was a goofy, really goofy and weird movie. But yeah, that was another really good one. This is a big year for Ben Stiller because Ben Stiller was also in Anchorman.
Yeah, he
did
played
a
bit there.
lot of stuff in 2004. It's a big year for him.
Also Soul Plane.
Oh, nice. Snoop Dogg, Kevin Hart. What is that?
For Shizzle.
Yeah, it's good. Actually, that movie sucked, but it was
Christmas with the Cranks. That came out. I saw that movie in theaters. Who
was in that
my
movie?
Uncle Tony took me to that.
Tell me who was in that movie? Was it Mark Wahlberg?
No. Tim Allen.
Ugh.
And the wife from Home Improvement was the wife in the movie too. Oh, hey, Barbershop 2.
Barbershop 2.
Also, victim of the sequel treatment. The second one, not as good.
Valid point. The first one was good. I liked the first one.
Yeah.
A valid point.
But most importantly, Anchorman.
Yes, absolutely. Box office-wise, they had a budget of $26 million, which is a low budget. We just talked about a movie.
That is a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for 2004.
It's all got to be for the cast then.
But listen to what the movie made. So, opening weekend, it made all of its money back. $28 million opening weekend.
Shit.
It grossed U.S. and Canada at $85 million and then grossed worldwide at $90 million. So it made some fucking money. Like a lot of money for a fart comedy, basically. It made a ton of money.
Yeah, this is stupid funny, as I would call it. I mean,
right.
You don't have to be intelligent whatsoever to follow along.
And we were going through a little bit of a recap. Like, I literally, one of the few movies, well, I actually, because I watched too many movies, but one of the movies that I can literally quote from start to finish. It's ridiculous. So funny. I remember seeing one of the first movies I actually saw multiple times in theaters. I saw it like 3 or 4 times in theaters. This was this? I think I might have been working at AMC at the time. It might have been before AMC, but I saw it multiple times in theaters just because it was so goddamn good. The director of this movie is Adam McKay. He's done a lot of Will Ferrell movies. He did Talladega Nights. He did the second Anchorman. He also did the movie Vice. Steve Carell's in that. It was Christian Bale as Dick Cheney.
Really? He did
dark
that?
comedy. Yeah, it was good. It's a good movie.
I'd never would have. It's not the same flavor of movie.
It's not, but it's really good. You should check it out. He also did the new one, Don't Look Up, on Netflix with Leonardo DiCaprio. And
He did that?
Mm-hmm. Yep. That was him.
Shout out to Don't Look Up.
Jennifer Lawrence.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing that one. At some point, we'll have to do that one. It's
yeah.
very,
Why don't we have some people hit us up on Facebook and Instagram if they want to hear it?
Yeah, for sure. And if you want to come talk about it, also let us know for sure.
At afterthecredits.tb.
TB. Yes, sir. So yeah, he's done a lot of really good shit. The synopsis of this movie is Ron Burgundy is San Diego's top-rated newsman in the male-dominated broadcasting of the 1970s. But all that's about to change for Ron and his cronies when an ambitious woman is hired as a new anchor. Self-explanatory.
I don't think this movie really needs a plot.
It doesn't. It does not.
I mean, just a chain of
It's
events
got one,
happening.
but it doesn't. It
doesn't
for sure.
work. Not required.
Tagline, which is it's also the opening. The opening credits has this. The opening credits has this typed out. It says the following is based on actual events. Only the names, locations, and events have been changed. Which is a lot of the movies.
That's the tagline.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. The only Adam McKay does a lot of that stuff for his movies. He's very and to not get political, but he's very anti-Bush at the time. He had one of his movies that was like a quote from Bush that he messed up. It was like shoot, I cannot remember it.
I know a lot of Bushisms. What's it kind of go like? The left hand now knows what the right is doing.
It was like where dreams take.
I believe in a world that fish and human can coexist.
It was. Oh man, I can't
We will
remember.
never give up trying to find ways of hurting and defeating ourselves.
That sounds a very Bush thing to say. Wow, god damn it! It was.
Or no, what was it? Our enemies are very smart and resourceful and will not give up until they find a way to defeat America, and neither will we.
Oh, that silly son of a bitch. Oh, it was let's see, the line was, it was like where wings take dream or something like that. Instead of where wings take flight, or where dreams take flight, it was where wings take dream. Something stupid like that. But yeah, he's got goofy things at the beginning of almost all of his movies. So, let's talk about the cast of this, because it is fucking stacked.
Fuck.
You got Will Ferrell as Ron Burgundy. You've got Christina Applegate as Veronica Corningstone. Paul Rudd as Brian Fantana. Steve Carell as Brick Tamlin. I love me some Brick.
Yeah.
David Koechner, a recent DUI receiver. He plays Champ Kine. Fred Willard, old Fred Willard. He's a funny actor. He plays Ed Harkin. Ron Burgundy's boss. Chris Parnell. He plays Garth. He's that poop out of your mouth. Poop mouth. That's one of his lines. You also have Katherine Hahn. She plays Helen. I just like bringing her up because she was just in the WandaVision as Agatha. And then you got Fred Armisen. He plays Tino, the club owner who Ron introduces him to Veronica, and he tells him to eat the cat poop and stuff like that. It's very funny. But the reason I brought up those extra guys is like this is the kind of a Saturday Night Live cast reunion.
Yeah,
that's just a lot of people from SNL got together and made a movie, and it was
so many more than
great.
just SNL. I mean, should we list off the
cameos?
The cameos, yeah,
yeah. We could go one for one. We could probably go for a bit. Like there's Jack Black, there's Vince Vaughn, there is
Danny Trejo,
Danny Trejo,
Ben Stiller,
Luke Wilson, Tim Robbins. Shoot, there's more. I know there's a bunch more.
Who's that one guy? Paul something? Not your son, Paul. Paul Tompkins.
Paul Tompkins.
He was the wasn't he the he was the was he in Pick of Destiny?
Oh, the DJ guy in Pick of Destiny? Yeah, he's in it as well. Seth Rogen is also in this.
Yeah, Seth Rogen.
Yep. Yeah. That's great. Yeah, there's so many people, like, and it just seems like Adam McKay got all of his buddies together to to make a movie, and it was great. So yeah, I mean, it was the beginning of Will Ferrell's relationship with Adam McKay. I think the only person they didn't have in this movie was John C. Reilly, which he does all of his movies with.
Did he cameo in it?
Nope, not.
Huh.
He cameoed in the second one.
Okay,
as the dead general. But yeah, it's got a lot of really, really good people in this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's see here. Do you wanna talk about scenes?
Say hello to our favorite scene.
And now, our favorite scene. I think one of my favorite scenes is the standoff between the Channel 9, where they go back and forth.
When they first...
The rivals of Channel 9,
yeah.
right. And they're insulting each other, going back and forth. Where'd you get your clothes? The thrift store?
I didn't know the Salvation Army did suits or whatever.
Right. And then Brick says, "Where'd you get your clothes? The toilet store?" And fuck, was it Champ? The sports guy. He just goes on this fucking rant about, like, I'm gonna fucking take your wife out for a dinner, I'm never gonna call her again.
He goes, "I will smash your face into a car windshield and then take your mother, Dorothy Mantooth, out for a nice seafood dinner and never call her again." He's like, "Dorothy Mantooth is a saint. Do you hear me?" Yeah, that scene is great, and then I like when they walk away afterwards, like they're done, the altercation's over, and the Ron and his buddies walk away, and Vince Vaughn turns around. He's like, "Nothing. You guys couldn't say anything." He's like, "Even the guy that can't think says something," talking about Brick in the toilet store.
Right.
He's like, "Even the guy who can't think says something. You guys couldn't say anything. Come on." But yeah, that scene is fantastic. I like the oh god, there's so many. The news station brawl where, like, all the news stations get together and they fight. Even like the Spanish news played by Ben Stiller.
Yeah,
that's another one we forgot to mention was Ben Stiller.
I said his name.
Oh, you didn't? You said yeah. So yeah, Ben Stiller plays like the Spanish news anchor and stuff. They get together and they all fight. There's the guy riding by on a horse with a trident. There's a dude that's randomly just on fire. The Brick is just walking around holding a hand grenade and screaming and stuff.
Right.
That
Yeah,
scene
I brought a grenade.
Brick, where'd you get a hand grenade? I don't know. But yeah, that scene is hilarious. And they tried to do it again in Anchorman 2 with...
They did. Over the top.
Yeah, way over.
And
like
I think
Jim Carrey showed up in that.
Yep.
Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. Harrison Ford.
I think that's the issue right there with sequels is...
Fucking Kanye West, they put his ass in it for... Oh.
For those of you that don't know, Tyler is not a very large fan of Kanye West.
You're putting it so politely.
I am.
Yeah.
I hates them with a passion. But yeah, that's the sequel treatment is they know we have to go bigger, better, faster, harder, stronger.
Where's the synth music to put behind that?
Oh fuck!
But yeah, that scene is great, and they tried to do it in Anchorman 2, and it didn't ring as well.
Yeah, you got lightning in a bottle, you ain't getting it again.
100%.
Another one of my favorite scenes is when Ron takes Veronica out for a date. Finally gets her out on a date. And woos her and plays fucking jazz flute.
Jazz flute, dude.
So fucking good too.
Yeah.
I mean, jazz flute's kind of it's a joke in and of itself.
Right.
But having
When
Will
he blows
Ferrell
the fire out the flute with
but having Will Ferrell play an anchorman that is a character, Ron Burgundy, playing fucking jazz flute. Fucking nailing it too, just a rock star on fucking flute,
walking across like tables and shit, going under like bathroom stalls and playing.
But and how he, like, when he walks up to the stage, I mean, he's acting like he's unprepared,
I wasn't prepared for this,
right?
and then he's pulling like the flute pieces out of his jacket and stuff. Like, oh, it's so good. Like he's playing so well that it's like almost giving Veronica an orgasm while she's listening to it. So it's so fucking hilarious. Yeah, that's a great scene. The Afternoon Delight song scene where they want to know what love is, and the whole between Ron and Brian. And he's like, "Have you guys ever?" He's like, Brian goes, "I was in love once." He's like, "Oh, what was her name?" And Brian goes, "I can't remember." Ron's like, "It's not a good start, but keep going." He's like, "We met in the bathroom of a God damn it, so some restaurant bathroom or whatever." And he's like, "We made love for hours." He's like, and then we parted ways, never to talk to each other again. Ron's like, "I'm pretty sure that's not what love is." And he's like, "Well, tell us." And then he sings the whole Afternoon Delight song, which is when I was younger, when I watched that, I watched it so many times that I memorized the entire fucking monologue between them and that song. It's so goddamn funny. But yeah, that scene's, and not only is it one of my favorite scenes, that's one of the all-time funny movie scenes, funny bits that happens in a movie that is just super unique, spot on. Everyone in that scene is hilarious. But yeah, that's a really good one.
And being that this movie came out in 2004, I was in high school.
Yeah.
Is very popular movie by the time I was in college.
Right.
When your wife Molly and I were at the radio station.
Yep.
And doing our vocal warm-ups, you get ready for the fucking ready for your shift. Unique New York. And then he just starts saying random shit too.
The arsonist had oddly shaped feet.
Right. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. And this is shit that we would say.
Brown cow.
Shit that we used to actually fucking say, because we thought we were cool.
Molly and I still quote it like.
How could you not?
The fucking time, yeah.
Right. Such a quotable movie.
It is.
Did you have any other scenes?
Yeah,
Otherwise,
I'm
gonna
3 fucking more.
Okay.
Scenes.
Yeah. Let's hear it, because I don't want to steal the one that I know you're gonna say.
Okay, so there's the bear fight where they at the end.
Oh yeah.
Where they all hop into the bear pit and they're all fighting, like literally physically fist fighting bears, and Brick is like riding one of them. He's like, "Ron, I'm riding a fuzzy tractor." There's the it's so stupid. There's
fuck.
the boner scene. Where Mr. Burgandy, you have a massive erection. He looks down. He's like, "Oh,
pleats.
It's the pleats, the pattern of the pants. I'm actually taking them back to the pants store right now." And then he's walking around the office and nothing to see here.
I'm gonna walk this off.
Don't act like you're not impressed. That scene is hilarious. And then probably my favorite scene, and Molly and I crack up every single time we watch it. Ron is driving, and he's got a burrito in his hand. And was this the one that you were?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ron's got a burrito in his hand, and he's driving. He's like, "This burrito is delicious, but it is filling." And he throws it out his window, and a biker happens to be right next to his window, and he hits him and crashes his bike and, wipes out and fucks himself up and fucks his bike up. And he gets up, and it's Jack Black. He goes, "You just thrashed my chopper, bro." As if like that whole scene would, and he he goes, "You destroyed the only thing. You destroyed the only thing I love. What do you love?" It's like, "I love poetry and a glass of scotch, and of course my dear friend Baxter here." And then he goes, "Well, guess what? Now this is happening." And Jack Black picks up his dog, walks to the edge of the bridge, and just kicks his fucking dog off the bridge. Every time I even think about that scene, I start cracking up. But it's a little cameo from Jack Black that was just so fucking perfect.
Yeah.
And it's what caused Ron to be late to the news reading, and Veronica took his place and read the news, and then was given the co-anchor job. So it's a pivotal part in the stupid ass story, but. Yeah, that scene is probably my favorite one in the movie.
Right, and this one, it's tough because I don't know if it's more of a quote or if it's more of a scene.
Yeah.
But when Veronica is sabotaging Ron, just straight up sabotaging, and she learns that he will read whatever the fuck is on the teleprompter.
Exactly what's on the teleprompter.
With no questions whatsoever.
Right.
And then Ron signs off the news by, "I'm Ron Burgundy. Go fuck yourself, San Diego." And it's just so certain of it. Just so fucking like I'm doing my job, and go fuck yourself, San Diego.
The comedic timing and the comedic like genius of that scene is like afterwards he's just like straightening his paper. He's like, "Well, that was a good show.
Yeah,
it was a
like
good
it
job."
never happened.
Like he didn't even know that he said it because
Right.
he just read it off the teleprompter and it
Yep.
came across as normal.
Yep.
Yeah, that scene is fucking great. And then he gets fired and everything. And yeah, that's a good one. Did you have any more scenes you wanted to discuss? I could sit here for 45 minutes.
Yeah, we could
talking
do
about
we
every
could do
scene.
every single fucking scene of
Yeah.
the movie. It's a
Yeah.
good movie.
Right.
It's a classic.
Yep, 100%. So yeah, that's you want to jump into some quotes?
I want the quotes. You can't handle the quotes.
Here's our favorite quote from this week's movie. Obviously, I'm Ron Burgundy.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
That's
That's quoted
This
throughout TV shows that I've watched, throughout like other movies quote that. It's ridiculous.
This showed up in my Facebook memories the other day.
Oh my goodness.
I as much as you don't like Kanye West, I don't like Five Finger Death Punch.
Okay.
Mainly because I don't
blame you.
tap out, man. I just fucking
They're
come
very
on.
affliction style.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like if you go to a Five Finger Death Punch concert and you're looking for it's just an area filled full of Kevins strung out on Monster that I'm scared they're going to punch me in the face. And that's honestly what it is.
Yeah.
Is their core demographic I'm scared of because they don't want them to fight me.
Right.
And they want to fight you no matter what, just for existing.
For sure.
They just want to fight. And that's not what I'm about. Anyway, my Facebook post was I'm going to see Five Finger Death Punch.
With the Ron Burgundy upwards inflection.
Right. And it had a question mark like, what? Dylan's going to see Five Finger Death Punch? That's crazy.
That's
and Molly comments.
My Molly.
Yeah, your wife Molly comments, I'm Ron Burgundy.
Of course. And see, that's how popular
Right.
it is.
Yeah.
You literally said something, a regular post on your Facebook with a question mark at the end as it was a statement, and
Yep.
Someone knew that you were talking
Exactly.
about Anchorman. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good quote. So this quote is from just the narrator at the beginning of the movie. He's kind of talking about Ron Burgundy and the times that they're in, and he goes, it's a little bit of a longer one, so bear with me. He goes, there was a time before cable, when the local anchorman reigned supreme, when people believed everything they heard on TV. This was an age when only men were allowed to read the news, and in San Diego, one anchorman was more man than the rest. His name was Ron Burgundy. He was like a god walking amongst mere mortals. He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr, and suits so fine they made Sinatra look like a hobo. In other words, Ron Burgundy was the balls. That line at the beginning set that movie. Like, when I heard that at the beginning of the movie, first time I saw it, I was like, this movie's going to be fucking hilarious.
Do you think they knew what they were doing?
No, I don't. Oh, they might have. Because literally they had a powerhouse of comedic actors, and I have in trivia some of the some other actors that were considered or that auditioned, and it was they definitely made the right choice. They made the right decisions with the people they did. But yeah, I don't think they knew how quotable and how iconic this comedy was going to be when they were done.
How could they?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Let's see. Another quote here. I got. Actually, you did that one. That's the. I'm Ron Burgundy. Go fuck yourself, San Diego. That one was
Go
great.
fuck yourself, San Diego.
Yep. They're in the office, and right before they sing "Afternoon Delight," everyone's trying to tell them things that they loved or whatever, and Brick goes, "I love carpet," and there's a pause, and he goes, "I love desk." Ron goes, "Brick, are you just looking at things in the office and saying that you love them?" Brick goes, "I love lamp." Like, do you really love the lamp, or are you just saying it because you saw it? And Brick, trying to sound convincing, he's like, "I love lamp. I love lamp." Like that's, and I used to have a shirt that said "I love lamp" on it. Like it was
really,
yeah, that was a very quotable.
That's
Whenever
funny.
someone would say something and you didn't have an answer, you didn't have a response. Back when I was partying with my friends and everything, like someone would say something to me, and my response would be, "I love lamp." Like,
Yeah.
I love lamp. Like,
I think anything that Brick said, Steve Carell's
Is
guy, Brick,
immediate.
every
Yeah.
fucking single thing that he said.
Hilarious.
I think another one that's it's got to be up there with quotable, mainly in meme culture, is the boy that escalated quickly.
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Right. and then Champ jumps in and he said it jumped up a notch, and then it didn't it? And then Brick's, yeah, I stabbed a man in the heart. I saw that. Brick killed a guy. Did you throw a trident? Yeah, there were horses, a man on fire. I killed a guy with a trident.
Brick, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. You're probably going to want to find a place, lay low for a while, because you're probably wanted for murder. That's such a good part.
Another
good
pretty
line.
quotable one is, I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Yeah, when he after Baxter got kicked off the bridge by Jack Black, that's a good part. I love Scotch, Scotch. Here it goes down into my belly when he's right before the news starts. That's great. There's so many. There's so many of them. Molly I was watching it again today. Molly walks in and Ron's sitting there with his Miller High Life, which is what I used to drink with buddies back in the day when we were the cheapest, nastiest beer.
Yeah.
But you get a 30-pack of that for like $11. Just stupid cheap. But he's sitting there, he's drinking, and he's like, I'm proud of you boys. He's like, that's what you do when you find yourself thrust in the middle of a vicious cockfight. Right after the big news station brawl.
Another good Brick one is his what's he doing? Like introducing himself.
Yeah.
I'm Brick Tamlin. People like me because I'm polite and I'm rarely late. I like to eat ice cream and I enjoy a nice pair of slacks. Years later, a doctor will tell me that I have an IQ of 48 and I'm what some people call mentally retarded. Just so straight face.
And he's, dude, in that scene when he's doing that and he's talking, he's got a jar of mayonnaise and a toaster, and he's just putting mayonnaise inside of a toaster, just spoonful after spoonful. I used to say this all the time too. Just when it's hot outside, like you'd be walking around, it's just hot. Ron Burgundy goes, "It's so damn hot. Milk was a bad choice." He's just walking down the street hot and just drinking fucking a carton of milk. So stupid.
Knights of Columbus. That hurt.
That's great.
I ate fiberglass insulation. It wasn't cotton candy like the guy said. My stomach's itchy.
I love Ron to Veronica. You've got a dirty, whorish mouth.
Yeah, I often say that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a thing. Yeah. And if I don't say
Why
it,
don't
I
you go
think
back
it
to your
quite a
home
bit.
on Whore Island?
Right.
I used to say that all the fucking time. Oh man. Let's see here. There's more. Looking at his reflection in the mirror. I look good. I mean, really good. Hey, everybody, come see how good I look. I had a shirt that said, "Hey, everyone, come see how good I look." And also,
your wardrobe was
Anchorman.
this movie.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
Did. I had another shirt that said, "I'm kind of a big deal," and on the back it said, "People know me." Another line from Anchorman,
which you would only know if you've seen the movie.
Right. Yep. Absolutely.
I pooped a hammer.
Ron
So
Burgundy
fucking
goes,
stupid.
"What? You pooped in the refrigerator and you ate the whole wheel of cheese? How'd you do that?" Like, I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
What else does he say to the dog? Something like, "I don't speak Spanish."
English, please. Baxter's, he's just standing there. Baxter's just barking at him. He's like, "What? You know I don't speak Spanish. English, please." It's so good. I could literally go on forever with quotes from this fucking movie. But what's Brian say? Because Brian Fantana, Paul Rudd's character, has a lot of really good lines too. He goes, Brian Fantana goes, "People call me the Bri Man. I'm the stylish one of the group. I know what you're asking yourself. The answer is yes. I do have a nickname for my penis. It's called the Octagon. I also nickname my testes. The left one is The left one is James Westfold, and the right one is Dr. Kenneth Nosewater. Ladies, play your cards right. You might get to meet the whole gang."
What's the other one? He introduces his cologne, Sex Panther. 60% of the time, it works every time.
It's called Sex Panther by Odeon. It's made with real bits of panther, so you know it's good.
Right.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time. Ron's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Which is a thing that I say often. I mean, I said it at work yesterday.
That's great.
I mean, they like, because I did something cool at work, and they're like, "Oh wow, how'd you do?" It's like, "Oh well, I did that." And 60% of the time it works every time.
Brian, I'm not gonna lie to you. That smells like pure gasoline. And then the whole bit of everyone just being like
Smelling the cologne.
Smells like a diaper filled with
Indian food.
Smells like a turd covered in burnt hair. That's actually the director who said that in that scene. And then what's the lady the lady that walks by, because I used to say this to my brother all the time. The lady walks by, just smells like Bigfoot's dick. Such a good line.
Fuck.
Yeah, so
and Ron Burgundy just sprinkles throughout, and I'm almost positive it's just Will Ferrell improving.
And
by the beard of Zeus.
Mm-hmm. Great Odin's Raven. That's something that I have in trivia, is that like almost all of the cast was so good at improvisation that like they would have 10 to 15 takes of each like line or each bit. And you see it a little bit in the credits of the movie. They're just going through and they're just like quick fire ad-libbing these different quotes and stuff.
Will Ferrell is known for improv.
Right.
I mean, and that's I mean, being an SNL movie. I don't know if it's is it actually an SNL movie? I mean, the fact that
like
the director,
SNL movie, but it's all like SNL people in it.
I mean, the director is a director from Saturday Night Live.
Is it?
Yeah, that's where you got to start.
Adam McKay got to start at. Oh,
yeah.
So that's something I didn't know. Thank you. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and
Dylan's trivia.
Right. We need to have a section for Dylan's trivia. Yeah, man. There's just so. This movie, it's going to withstand the test of times. When my kid gets old enough to where I can sit him down and I can watch this, I'm sure that he's going to be quoting shit, or he's going to finally realize all the stupid stuff that mom and dad quote that he never understood is from this fucking movie.
I mean, you could do it now. Just get some Benadryl.
Right? Go to sleep, buddy.
Let me ask you this. So, do you remember the first time watching this movie?
I absolutely do. Yeah, I went to the movie theater. It was AMC Theaters out in Omaha. Shouts out to AMC Theaters out in Omaha. What's up?
What's up?
What's up? It was Oakview Mall, not West.
Oh, okay.
West Roads. That would have been funny. But yeah, Oakview Mall. But yeah, I remember. I don't remember if I went by myself or if I went with my buddy Matt. But yeah, I went and saw this. And then the same day, I went and saw. I think it had to have been when I was working at the theater, because I was getting in for free to movies. But yeah, I went and saw this, and then I went and saw Dodgeball, and I remember thinking, like, never again will I see two movies this funny in the same day that have just come out. And then years later, Tropic Thunder and Step Brothers both came out, and I saw both of those movies the same day in the theaters. I walked out of Tropic Thunder into, I'm sorry, it was not Step Brothers, it was The Hangover. I walked out of Tropic Thunder and then went and watched The Hangover after that, and I'm just comedy classics.
Yeah, absolutely.
You remember the first time you saw it?
I do. It was. I'm trying to think what year I was in high school, because it wasn't theaters.
Right.
It was DVD or VH. It was DVD.
This time
VHS.
it wasn't with Molly, because we just found out that Molly has not seen this movie.
That's
Your
right.
Molly
What
has
the
not.
fuck? Guess what? I get to rewatch it again.
Nice, yeah.
But I was in high school. I was at a friend's house, and we were all drinking, and legally we were drinking.
In high school.
But right, and it was just at first it was one of those things like someone just put it in as background noise,
Which is an okay movie to do, because you can tune in at any point and be like, haha, that's good.
Right, but it quickly turned into, like, we're all standing around, drinking our drinks, and most of the people drinking booze, and I was drinking Blacktooth Grin, a little bit of
What the fuck is that?
What?
What is Blacktooth Grin?
Whiskey and Coke. Whiskey and cola.
Whiskey, Jack and Coke.
I'm gonna look up the official recipe
Jack
for
and Coke.
Yeah, Blacktooth Grin.
I always thought it was just Jack and Coke.
It's named after Dimebag Darrell. He came up. Well, he came up with the name, but it's from Megadeth song "Sweating Bullets."
Oh,
and he smiles his Blacktooth Grin.
Oh shit.
Oh, okay. So I guess there's a certain kind of drink that you're supposed to do.
Kind of whiskey.
We always call it Blacktooth Grin, just whiskey and Coke.
Yeah.
But it's essentially it's a double shot of Seagram 7 and a double shot of Crown Royal, tossed over ice and splashed with enough Coca-Cola to give it a darkened hue.
Jesus Christ, that's 4 shots of whiskey.
Yeah,
And
and
then
that's
a
what
splash
I mean.
of Coke.
I mean, we never used Seagram 7,
Right.
but
it was
always
always Daniels or whatever.
yeah, it was. But we always mixed it with Crown,
Mhm.
and you just
Okay.
you just a little bit of Coke just for flavoring.
Why aren't we drinking that right now while we're talking about this fucking movie? I didn't know that existed, where people mix 2 different whiskeys together plus Coca-Cola.
I'll tell you a quick story once. So we were on our Booze Brother vacation.
Booze Brother.
We were the Booze Brothers. That was our name. We
fantastic.
dubbed ourselves the Booze Brothers, and there were other different cliques too.
Yeah.
There was the Brew Crew. There was the Hick Patrol. And then and we got along with everybody. The Brew Crew, the Booze Brothers and the Brew Crew, we rolled together. Every once in a while, we'd hang out with what we called the Doobie Brothers. It was just all the potheads. That was the pothead group. Anyway, we were on the Booze Brother vacation, and we're all mixing our drinks and shit. And my buddy, someone asked me like, "Oh, what are you drinking?" It's like, "Oh, I have vanilla Coke mixed with black velvet."
Ooh.
And I asked my buddy C Dice, I was like, "Oh, what are you mixing with?" And with his black velvet, I was like, "Oh, what's your mixer? What are you mixing it with?" And he goes, "Amaretto." And I was like, "Amaretto, that's alcohol." And he goes, "Yeah." What's wrong with that? And that fucker ended up sleeping. Every hotel room, there's like a crack.
Yeah.
In between the one bed and the wall. He ended up sleeping there. Because he fell.
You're drinking straight out, no
Yep.
mixers.
Yeah, because he fell and was laughing so hard that he basically laughed himself to fucking sleep.
Oh my God.
Uh,
We need to have an episode with just a couple buddies that we used to drink with and just tell stories of crazy times that we've had. Like if I had Isaiah
absolutely.
here talking about just crazy times that we'd had when we were drinking. Oh my goodness.
Anyway,
that would be a fun episode. But the first time you saw this movie,
right? It was at a party similar to that, but instead of
was
just
it with
having
the Booze Brothers?
it was the Booze Brothers and the Brew Crew all together in the basement of Do. And so anyway, we had it on in the background, and the intention was just to keep it on in the background,
Just
but
to have some noise.
keep the party going on. We ended up like turning the volume up, and by the like 10-15 minutes into the movie, not long ago, the volume's up full blast, and everyone's just sitting down really quiet, just fucking laughing our asses off together.
Yeah,
that was the
great.
first time I remember watching it.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good first experience for sure. Yeah, and I don't know a scene. Like literally today was the first time that I met a human being who had not seen this movie. Today. I'd never ever in my life talked to someone who had not seen this movie. Never.
I'm
I cannot
ashamed
think of a
that
single
person is my wife.
Yeah, you should fix that shit like real quick. When we're done with this episode, we're going upstairs and we're watching Anchorman. But yeah, man, it's a very, very good, very popular comedy. Just and like I had said before, like one of, if not my favorite comedy like of all time. It's so good. So I mean, having said that, who's your favorite character in this picture?
Oh, obviously it's got to be Brick.
Brick?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Brick's
mean,
great.
I don't know.
See,
okay, Brick. I'm gonna have to say personally, Brick.
Yeah.
Okay, just because of the character.
right.
I mean, because that is a character.
So good.
And it's not a common character either. It's not like Steve Carell's always going back to be Brick.
Right.
But then you think about Ron Burgundy as a character and how fucking popular Ron Burgundy has podcasts. So Will Ferrell will play Ron Burgundy,
Dude.
fucking everywhere.
Yeah. He not only has podcasts, but he also did like a full comedy special as Ron Burgundy.
That's right.
He's showed up to different like local hockey games or local basketball games, and he's done
Has he really?
Yeah, and he's done the entire like the sportscasting as Ron Burgundy.
That's
like,
fucking great.
Yeah, dude. There's a video. I believe it's hockey. If it's not hockey, it's basketball. But there's a video out there of Will Ferrell showing up as Ron Burgundy and doing the entire sportscast of the entire game as Ron Burgundy. It's fucking golden.
And see, and that's why, I mean, with Will Ferrell being so good at improv, I mean, he can do shit like that.
Right.
Like I couldn't do that.
No.
Could
No.
I mean, it obviously wouldn't be very well, but if someone wrote a script for me and gave me a character to play, I could maybe do it for like an episode of a TV show. But I could
improvising
not fucking
and ad-libbing like they do, it's
you
just,
are that person.
that's a skill.
Yeah,
That is a
it's
skill
nuts.
that I've not obtained.
That's yeah. Will Ferrell's fucking amazing.
He is for sure. There's not a Will Ferrell movie that I do not like.
What would your favorite character be? Would it be Ron Burgundy then?
No, so it's between Ron and Brian Fantana. I have a soft spot for Paul Rudd. I always have.
Yeah.
I always will. He's one of my man crushes. I will always love Paul Rudd, and him as Brian Fantana.
It's great.
Is so fucking perfect.
And it's not a
sleazy.
It's not the type of
goofy.
character that he plays often.
No.
I mean, usually he plays like the kind of like
yeah.
the lovable dumb guy.
Right. Yeah. Like you look at him as Brian Fantana, and you think of that, and then you look at even Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Or I Love You Man,
Yep.
or Role Models. Like they're all completely different characters. They all are different from each other. So he's pretty diverse in what he does. I've also seen him in a couple of serious, like somewhat serious roles. And it's hard to take him serious because he's so fucking funny.
Right.
But I mean he's amazing. And then in this movie he's got so many quotable lines and just his mustache and his hair, and then the whole Sex Panther.
Yeah.
I've leaned heavily on that entire like monologue of his where he's talking about the Sex Panther and the 60% of the time it works every time.
Yeah.
Like I've leaned on that so much for quotes and being funny and everything. It's between Ron and Brian, but I'd probably give it to Brian for sure.
Right. Yeah. No, and the same with Brick for me.
Right.
I mean, literally replace Brian everything that you said and put in fucking Brick. I have to give credit to fucking Ron Burgundy though.
Oh,
I mean that character. And I'd be interested to know, like, was that Will Ferrell that came up with it? Was it the director? Was it the writer? Tell me.
Some stuff in my trivia.
Tell me, Tyler. Tell me now.
So yeah, it was based loosely off of an old actual newscaster in the 70s that that Will Ferrell was familiar with, and that Adam McKay were both familiar with. They based it off of, and then this movie wasn't even supposed to be the movie that it ended up being. But originally it was just. I'll get to that part in trivia, but yeah, they based it off of a actual newscaster that used to do baseball games and newscasting and stuff. So it is based off of somebody, and the character was created solely for Will Ferrell to play, just because of how he did, like the different roles he played on Saturday Night Live and shit like that. This role was created for him. So what would you rank this movie? Like what's the ranking you would give this film personally for you?
8.2.
8.2.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a fucking funny movie.
Yeah. Solid.
And in Dylan's section of buy it, rent it, or stream it, fucking buy it.
Oh yeah.
Because you will get your money's worth. I mean, if you want to squeeze a penny, wait till it comes out and it's on sale for like half price off for $10.
You could probably go to a a store that has DVDs. You could probably go to Best Buy and get Anchorman for $4 right now. You could probably go get it for absolutely like next to nothing. I know that when I met Molly, that one of the reasons I knew that she was the one is that we both had a copy when we moved in together. We both had a copy of Anchorman on DVD. I was like, yeah, this girl's the one for sure. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if it's on something to stream it. If you've never seen this movie,
it's on streaming right now on Paramount Plus.
Right. But if you don't have that, or and you haven't seen this movie, I highly suggest that you go and you rent it on Amazon or go out and fucking buy this movie. Like it is.
No, and see, and I wouldn't rent it. I would buy it.
Yeah.
If you want to be immersed into the whole eco-verse, then there's on iTunes you can get the Anchorman collection for $27.97. You can get Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy, the movie we're doing now. There's the Wake Up Ron Burgundy, the Lost movie.
Yep. Which they shot so much footage for the original Anchorman, they literally had enough left over to make a second fucking movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the actual sequel Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues.
Yeah.
So so it's three movies for under $30.
That's steep.
Is it?
I feel like it. You can get it. I think you can buy it on on Amazon Prime for like $5, $5 or $6. I think maybe.
Right.
Maybe.
I mean, Anchorman 2 is still $15.
Yeah.
So
somewhat newer, but yeah. I mean, for
anyway,
sure, go buy
I
this
think
movie.
I think you buy it because the rewatchability is fucking high, and that's why I gave the movie an 8.2 because I mean you can rewatch it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
As you know, Tyler and I have enough that you can fucking quote the movie.
Right.
I mean, enough to where when I watch it with Molly, she's probably gonna hate the movie because it's gonna be her sitting next to me, fucking being Will Ferrell for an hour and a half.
Yep. When Molly and I watch it together, it's just each one of us like going back and forth quoting this movie. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Solid flat 9 out of 10. It, like I said, it's top 3. I put it up there with like Tropic Thunder for me, Dumb and Dumber, you know, and Anchorman. I mean, those are 3 of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my entire life. And
this era of comedy, because it's definitely it's a new genre. I mean, we're
very lucky because this came out in our this is our generation's.
Here's
comedy.
my question: Is it as good as what we say it is? Is that because of like nostalgia? Is it our age and when the movies came out? I mean, because you think about the movies that it came out, The Hangover. I mean, fucking
Step
amazing
Brothers,
movies.
Talladega Nights,
right? But even movies away from like the Saturday, the SNL type of cast.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dumb and Dumber,
40-year-old virgin,
a little bit 40-year-old virgin, knocked up. You know. Pineapple Express.
All the Seth Rogen shit.
Yeah.
The what's the one? Superbad.
Oh my God, Superbad. Yeah.
Right. I mean, all these movies that came out in a pretty short amount of fucking time. I mean, pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean, are they? I don't know. Is it our age? Is it nostalgia?
That's a really good question because like my dad one of the things my dad and I bond over is just movies, movies in general. And you know he's very big into 80s comedies. So like at the time it would have been like Caddyshack and Funny Farm and you know The Great Outdoors, Uncle Buck, like all those old 80s you know classic comedy, but Ghostbusters, you know, those were the ones that he grew up on. And as much as I absolutely love all of those movies, like from the bottom of my heart, love those movies. That's his generation. Right. That's his nostalgia. What he grew up watching. Those were his thing. I still love them. They're still great.
Yeah.
But these are like my generation. Like these, so maybe nostalgia does play a bit of like I wonder if my kid when he grows up will have his new genre or his new they'll have his generation of comedies that he'll love.
Do you think so this is a two-parter. One, does your dad like these movies?
Oh yeah.
Does he like Anchorman?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
okay.
For sure. I don't know if he likes like along the lines of like Pineapple Express and like
more the more raunchy type ones.
Well, no, because he enjoys he does like those kinds of movies, but like I don't know if he likes that newer age comedy as much as the 80s comedy stuff. But I mean, I think it's just if you have an affinity for comedy is comedy. If it's funny, it's funny no matter how old it is. Like I can go back and I can watch movies from the 70s and 80s that I'm like,
well,
that's
that was
funny.
My question is, I mean, it's just like you can wipe front to back. Can you wipe back to front? I mean, can you watch? I mean, our generation, we can go back.
Yeah,
and we can go to the 90s and watch, you know, Adam Sandler shit like Billy
oh
Madison.
Oh my God, dude, you didn't even bring up those movies like Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Little Nicky,
all those.
Like,
yeah, I mean, we can
Singer.
go back and we can watch those a little bit before our time.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then we can go back before that and watch your Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
You know, we can go back. Will we be able to go forward in 10 to 20 years time? Will we be able to keep up with the comedy?
That's a good question because there's movies that are coming out now that I will watch. There's comedies that I'll watch that I know that people. My brother's 2 years younger than me, so he's not like crazy young.
Yeah, it's not a new generation. Or anything.
No, but I think he hangs out with a little bit of a younger crowd.
Okay.
than I hang out with, and there's comedies that he absolutely loves, and I'm like.
Right.
I'm like, it's I get it. It's funny. Like, yeah, but it ain't no Anchorman.
That's right.
It ain't no Happy Gilmore.
Yep,
It's no
exactly.
Tropic Thunder, you know, but so maybe I'll still, you know, enjoy it and I'll still watch them, but I don't think I'd have the affinity for them that I do now. Unless because there are some comedies that have come out recently that are great, that are absolutely fantastic, that I love.
Yeah.
Which is a new generation of comedy. But it's also made by guys like Seth Rogen, who's been making my type of comedies since I can remember, and Adam Sandler, who's been making movies that I enjoy since I was a child. So yeah, that's a really good question and a really fun topic to talk about. Is like, are we gonna have the same enjoyment for future comedies that come out that is tailored for that generation as I have for Anchorman and the Adam Sandler movies and stuff like that? That's a solid ass question.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you got it. You gave it an 8.2, and I gave it a 9 out of 10. So
I think those are very accurate and fair representations.
what's your favorite Will Ferrell movie?
Fuck you.
I always
You
try
said
to do
you
it.
said
I
you didn't
do it
have
for
one.
Legend. I didn't do it for Legend. I didn't do it for the last couple movies that we did. I didn't throw a curveball at you, but Will Ferrell movie. If you had Desert Island question, but for Will Ferrell films, that might be a shitty question because there's so many good ones.
I think so. It's going to be a tie.
Okay.
Because it's either Step Brothers, because fuck you, it's Step Brothers.
Yeah. That movie
or-
is another perfect comedy.
And I don't think this one gets as much recognition.
Love.
Yeah, not as much love as what I think it should. But the other guys with
Mark
Marky Mark.
Wahlberg, yeah, dude, that
Yeah.
movie's hilarious.
I mean, them going, and I don't know. You just don't hear people talk about it as much. But it's also got, was it Sam Jackson and The Rock in it?
Who played the guy who played Michael Keaton?
Yeah, Michael Keaton was
Keaton's
the
in it?
captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that movie's hilarious.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
and I mean, the whole bit with Will Ferrell's wife.
Eva,
and
they're not
she's
Eva
fucking
Longoria. Is it Eva Longoria?
smoking.
I think it might be Eva Longoria.
Is it Eva
But
Mendes?
That Eva Mendes. That bit of him just downplaying how fucking beautiful she is.
Right.
You look kind of shitty right
Yeah.
now. Like,
And the fact that he's driving a Prius or some shit like that. I mean,
as his like
it's a
detective cop van,
right.
or cop car.
I mean, it's perfect. It's. I think it's a perfect Will Ferrell movie.
It is.
Because Will Ferrell plays Will Ferrell
Yeah.
and Mark Wahlberg plays Mark Wahlberg.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
they both do their typecasting.
And they work well.
And they-
so
yeah.
well together.
Who would have fucking thought that would work well?
Not me.
Right.
For sure.
But yeah, and then Step Brothers. I mean, Step Brothers is iconic. I
Right.
would say just as, if not more iconic than Anchorman.
Step Brothers?
Mm-hmm.
I would put it up. I would rank
What
it up there
about-
with them.
What's about you?
So between
Asshole.
Step Brother, it's probably between three movies. So, Anchorman, obviously.
That's not really a desert land.
Desert
type
Island.
answer.
You're
Desert-
right. Yeah,
desert,
you're right. So if we're doing Desert Island like legitimate, like I'm taking Anchorman. Like I'm gonna watch
Yep.
Anchorman over and over again. And I'm gonna be cool with it. But if it's like making me choose between my children, like Step Brothers and Talladega Nights. Talladega Nights it's very not politically correct at all.
No.
But it is so funny. Sacha Baron Cohen. I'm sorry. John C. Reilly. Dude, I'm drawing a blank on fucking names right now. But it's got the same cast that Anchorman has in it, and the same cast that Step Brother has in it. All the same guys that are in those movies together. But yeah, Talladega Nights is great. Step Brothers is great, and Anchorman. But I guess the consistent one for you and me both is Step Brothers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we should do Step Brothers at
Yeah,
some point.
maybe
'cause
we should.
That is a
John
fucking
C.
hilarious
Reilly's
movie.
fucking amazing.
He's so funny. I witnessed you with my eyes put your testicles on my drum set.
Did we just become best friends?
Yup.
Yup.
It's so good. So yeah, let's see here. I think we should hop into some trivia. So the Mexican restaurant Veronica visits with the girls from the station is named Escupimos en su alimento. In Spanish, that means we spit on your food. It was a goofy little fucking thing that they put in there.
Okay.
I thought it was hilarious. Many of the actors and actresses were so good at improvisation, they would sometimes do up to 20 different versions of reaction lines, trying out the first thing that popped into their heads. We talked about that a little bit. This is the one that I was talking to you a little bit before. So the film had been pitched to DreamWorks about 20 times before. Following the success of Old School and Elf, DreamWorks had little faith in the film, doubting Will Ferrell and Adam McKay could pull off the entire base of news anchors. The film grossed $84 million domestically, and McKay had so much extra footage that he was able to make a second film out of it. Will Ferrell graduated from college with a degree in journalism. He anchored the local news a few times before breaking into comedy. So he did have a background in being a anchorman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Co-writer and director Adam McKay has said that in the first draft of the script, this is funny as hell, and I would have loved to see this movie. So co-writer and director Adam McKay said that in the first draft of the script, the story was about a plane load of news anchors who crash in the mountains and discover that the plane which they collided was carrying monkeys with martial arts equipment, leading to a battle between cannibalistic newsmen and star-throwing monkeys.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude. This movie could not have been more different than what they actually made. Like, I would have loved to see that movie. It would have been hilarious.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Right? No shit. Adam McKay's daughter, Lily Rose McKay, makes a cameo as a girl insulting Ron while she's walking on the street. Adam McKay's wife, Shira Piven, plays the girl's mother. Their other daughter, Pearl McKay, would later make a similar cameo in Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues, as the girl who insults Ron while he's presenting at SeaWorld. I like that he puts his family in his movies. Let's see here. First part of Adam McKay's and Will Ferrell's mediocre American Man trilogy. The second was Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Rick and Bobby. The third was Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues. On all parts, McKay works as the director, Ferrell is the main actor, and they both work as writers on the projects.
Yeah.
Let's see. Will Ferrell has played flute since elementary school.
What?
Yeah. So he actually... I don't think that it's possible for someone to play the flute like it was played, but he knew how to play the flute. It's not humanly
possible. Yeah. That's crazy.
He knew how to play the flute, though, so that was cool. John C. Reilly was offered a role, but turned it down because he was filming The Aviator in 2004. He said that he regrets the decision. He was cast later as a cameo in Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues.
Yeah, he should fucking regret that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. The first draft of
The Aviator? What the fuck?
Yeah, I've never seen it. I think that Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah,
is also,
yeah. That's the one. And he
about
was still
flying. I'm
yeah.
guessing. I've never seen it.
I'm gonna take a wild hunch and say it's about flying.
It's about planes or some shit. Let's see. The first draft of the screenplay included suggested actors for various roles: Champ Kine, John C. Reilly; Brick Tamlin, Chris Parnell, who was also in the movie. Brian Fantana was supposed to be Ben Stiller. Ed Harkin was supposed to be Ed Harris. Garth Holiday was supposed to be Dan Aykroyd. And Frank Vichard, was supposed to be Alec Baldwin. The script also specified another member of the news team, Marshall Connors, with William H. Macy suggested for the part, which would have been something.
I would have liked that.
Yeah.
I like William H. Macy.
Yeah, no, I had no problems with William H. Macy. It would have been cool to see him in it. Let's see here. During an October 2019 AV Club interview with Tim Robbins, he mentioned that he agreed to take on the small roles in High Fidelity in 2000 and Anchorman, even though he would be paid very little for the roles because they promised to make him a custom wig for each of those roles, both of which he got to keep after filming ended. Robbins said that he still owns the wigs as of 2019 and often uses them as Halloween costumes, including the wig from The Pick of Destiny for the small role that he played. So he's just out here taking movies and
just to get the fucking wigs,
the fucking custom wigs.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, this is a weird one. Maggie Gyllenhaal auditioned for the role of Veronica. That would have been weird. I don't think. I can only picture her as Rachel Dawes in the Batman movies. Like I can't imagine her playing Veronica Corningstone in Anchorman.
I think she could do it.
You think
I haven't seen her in a comedic role.
Yeah, neither have I.
I mean, but I don't think Veronica was really. You don't have to be comedic. really. She's very serious in this movie.
Ron carried the whole their back and forth and everything. So, some cameos included Seth Rogen, Jack Black, Ben Stiller, Vince Vaughn, Danny Trejo, Tim Robbins, Judd Apatow, Luke Wilson, and the director Adam McKay. Just stacked with cameos.
Yeah.
The movie's epilogue claims that Brick went on to become a top advisor in George W. Bush's presidential administration. Steve Carell went on to play Bush's Secretary of Defense, Donald Rumsfeld, in Vice, also directed in 2018, also directed by Adam McKay, which is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Carell, David Koechner, Will Ferrell, and Jack Black also appeared in The Office together in 2005. They were all a part of different episodes of The Office, which is another one of my absolute obsessions.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, great movie, great show.
Yeah, great show. Let's see. This movie features 5 former Saturday Night Live cast members: Will Ferrell, David Koechner, Fred Armisen, Ben Stiller, and Chris Parnell. Director Adam McKay is also a former writer for the show, which just leads it to basically being a Saturday Night Live film. And I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this the other day when I was watching this. Is I could go back and list some of the greatest comedies of all time, and a lot of them are all either tied to Saturday Night Live, being having writers or actors from Saturday Night Live on them, or being rewritten from Saturday Night Live skits, like Night at the Roxbury, the Blues Brothers, MacGruber.
I think Billy Madison was as well.
I don't think it was a character, but it had all the Saturday Night Live dudes in it.
Right. Yeah. Chris Farley and yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy the comedic talent that Saturday Night Live has given us. But so yeah, that's all I have for this fantastic movie.
This is a
Honestly,
great fucking movie.
Yeah, it's so good.
Historical.
I could do so much more on this movie. We just ain't got the time to do it. This is one of those episodes that I might be able to dedicate a second episode to. It's just so much
easily.
shit with it for sure. And maybe at some point we'll do the second Anchorman movie and we'll discuss that one as well. So
for sure.
Again, I thank all of you guys for stopping by and listening to us. And you stay classy, San Diego. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode, and this concludes our Legend series. Head over to anchor.fm/afterthecredits TJ and leave us a voice message to be featured on a future episode. You can find all of our past episodes there too, as well as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and every other major platform you can think of. Make sure to follow us online to hear what cool things we have coming up. Head over to our Facebook and Instagram at afterthecredits.tv to let us know what movies you think we should cover next. We love you more than Ron Burgundy loves Veronica Corningstone. That's a wrap.